Right now, I'm miles from any road, by myself, on a fairly sketchy track, and I am having a fantastic time. Just look at the scenery. This is the Black Glen, Gleann Dubh, and I'm here at the start of winter. This video is the Morvern shortcut, taking us through a lovely, lonely part of the Scottish Highlands. You know when you plan to do something, but for one reason or another just never get around to it? Well, there's one bike route I've looked at ever since I moved to this part of the world, and today I'm going to ride it. First, I have to get there along roads I know well. And I also have another reason for wanting to attempt this ride. There is an annual bike packing event in Scotland that you may or may not have heard of. It's called the Roam Scotland Rally. It's loosely based on the Torino-Nice Rally, and I think I'm going to have plenty of time to tell you a little bit more about that later on, because I suspect there's going to be a bit of pushing in this. But the provisional route for one of the years was meant to follow the ride I'm going to do today, and I have serious doubts as to whether or not it's rideable, especially with a full bike packing rig. I promised the organiser I would eventually check it out, so today that's what we're doing. So this is the start of the section that is new to me. Down that way there's quite a long curving road that swings around the edge of the valley and then disappears over a col and eventually finds its way down to a particular point. However, there is also a direct route that goes straight through there and links up with a track, and that's the route I'm going to try to follow. But there's a car coming up here now. Hiya, can I ask you a quick question? I was wondering if I could ride through here and link up with the track at the bottom. Well, I'm pleased to say the person in that car didn't so much as say, get off my land. There was none of that. It was just that a cyclist had been down here recently when there was snow on the ground, and they could see from the tracks that whoever it was had gone down, had turned around and had come back up again. So she was suggesting to me the route might not go. Let me show you on Commute where we are. We're on the west coast in the area called Morvern, and this is the main road to Loch Arlen where folk get the ferry to the Isle of Mull. This is the direct route I'm following down Gleann Dubh, which I know is a good track to a cottage, but after that I think I'll have 10k of hiking until I reach the road again. At the cottage, as expected, I lose the track completely. No, this feels wrong. I think that was just the access to get to their water treatment. There's a gate over there. Yeah, I can imagine when there was snow on the ground here, that would turn you around. Actually, no, I think I'm not far off, you know. It was hidden behind the curve of the hill, so that looks as if it could be rideable. Glad I put this bigger helmet on though. After all the rain we've had recently, the ground is saturated and I'm just spinning out. Look at this, other bike tracks. I'm far from being the first to come through this way, it's clear. Yeah, and in dry conditions, this would be a cracking ride. So, the Roam Scotland Rally. What it is not is a race. The idea is to ride roughly 100 kilometers a day with 1,200 meters of ascent, I think. And the whole thing should take, I think it's between 7 and 10 days. Might be wrong on that. It's worth checking the website. I'll link it in the video description. Entry is by making a donation to a particular charity. All that is on the website as well, and good on Callum for organising something like this. And let us hope the 2022 version goes ahead, although perhaps not down this particular track if it's been raining. I've had a few discussions with people who've taken objection to me saying Scotland is not a wilderness. And when you look at places like this, it's easy to say, wow, look at this fantastic wilderness.
And people would tell me that, well, it is a wilderness because people used to live in these glens and they were cleared out in the late 1800s. And my response to that is, yes, hang on, river crossing. Whoop. Yes, I know they were cleared out. That's exactly why I would say it's not a wilderness, it's a wildness. And it's when you come across places like this, homes. This is Lurga. I think I'm getting onto dangerous ground here, so I think I'm going to be quiet. This is wild, but when you see places like that, it's a reminder that folks lived here. It's a reminder that people called this home and were shipped after the New World. Okay, what does this say? Let's see. Lurga Mine. Right, so all that about being houses out here, I was talking a load of rubbish. Oh well, I still stand by my wilderness thing. Only they probably weren't cleared, it was probably just abandoned. This track has been single track since Lurga. It's too skiddy and narrow to ride on for me. Loads of big puddles, and you don't know whether there's firm ground underneath or whether they're just going to eat your wheel and throw you off over the top. I've ended up following deer tracks which are ridiculously indistinct and come well off track. I don't know if you can see that white building over there. That's where I should have been because the main track starts there, but instead I'm flogging across some open ground with my heart rate in zone 3. This doesn't look too promising. The light is fading and I have to cross this river, but I'm keen not to just rush into it because, well, problems happen that way. If I fall over and get soaked, well, I could very easily go hypothermic. So, what am I thinking about here? The water is fastest and deepest on the outside of every bend. So that's a place that I really would want to avoid. So actually sometimes the wider parts are better because the water is moving slower. So I'm looking for a wider part that perhaps has got a few raised stones. It's really about taking your time and using your judgment to find the right spot. Now this could be quite good because the river has braided here. And there's like a little island in the middle, and I can see there's a very easy step across on the far side. I just have to get onto that middle bit. Now that's possible, but I think there might be just a better there. It looks a bit scary because of the white water. But if you look above that white water, then you've got rocks protruding. And I might be able to get across there. That's the best I've seen so far. I'm going to put my bike downstream, so I've got it to lean on. And I'm going to decide that definitely I am going to get wet feet. I'm going to avoid that bit there because there's just too much turbulence in the white water. So just a little bit upstream. Oh, well, here we go. Let's just try. Taking my time. There we go. Not particularly elegant, but we are halfway across now. And the other half, well, that's dead easy. There is some discussion as to whether or not you should have your bike on the upstream side or downstream. I like the downstream because I don't want it swept into me. I suppose there's arguments both ways. Where's that track now? If you like this, then you might notice on the YouTube homepage there's a button marked Join. It'd be fantastic if you'd click that, check out the different ways to support the channel and see if one is for you.
These people have done that, and I'm extremely grateful for their support.
As a Morvern shortcut, this has been absolutely rubbish. This ride has taken hours where I'd have covered the same distance on the road in less than an hour. But for fun, this has been excellent. I feel as if I've been into a really wild place and yet so close to home. Someplace I hadn't been before, didn't even know if you could get through there. What a day. Made it back to the road, so I think I shall start heading home. And if you've enjoyed it, thumbs up please, subscribe if you haven't. Feel free to comment. See you again next time. Bye.